greetings from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. My name is Fursov. I'm a research entomologist, beekeeper and teacher. And today, first day of June 2023. And I'm sitting here just in very unusual, unpredictable place, because I'm sitting at street. And what I'm doing here, that's quite strange for normal people, but I'm very special because I'm entomologist. Because entomologist can search for something unusual and can recognize something special, some creatures which are pretty invisible for another people. And here in this place I found the colony of bees. Yes, the colony of bees in the big city, such big city as the city of Kyiv in the center. No, this is not a swarm of honeybees. These are different bees. These are native bees. And they are wild bees. And they are not social like honeybees, so they are not dangerous at all. Because they can live in some abandoned places which are not cultivated, which are just abandoned from the human being activities. That's why I'm sitting here in this abandoned hill, without grass, by the way. This is very important, and without cultivated soil. Because honeybees, they are living in beehives, but wild solitary bees, they are solitary. They are not making swarms, they are not making big, huge colony like 50,000 honeybees. Solitary bees are living in some special places. Very often they are living in rotten wood, in all rotten wood, some pieces which are remain somewhere, like after cut trees. But some living underground, in the soil. And these bees, which I'm observing now, they are just living here, on this soil, without grass. Just soil, just sand. They found some abandoned place with very good soil, with very good sand. And they are making underground nests. Underground nests, what does it mean? They are making small holes underground like ants. But ants were very small. These bees were pretty big, relatively big. They have the same size like honeybees. I collected one to show it for you. And why I recognize who is this? Because this solitary bee has a very special behavior. This solitary bee belongs to the family Megachilidae, leaf-cutting bees, or sometimes other groups called mason bees. What are the differences? Because mason bees, they like to live in some hollow places in a rotten wood, but these interesting Megachilidae beetle, they are leaf-cutting. Because if you are just stopping near their nest, you can recognize that they are coming to the nest, to the hollow in the soil, with luggage. What kind of luggage? Two types of luggage. One luggage is pollen and nectar. Pollen is really visible because pollen is collected by this interesting Megachila bee, leaf cutter bee, just on the back, on the down part of abdomen. So that's why this bee looks like yellow on the bottom. Or this bee just were carrying another luggage. You can see here a little bit small piece of leaf, because this bee is leaf cutter bee. This is a female, this is a queen, and she's making solitary nest one by one. One is making just separate colony in separate hollow inside under the ground. And I found here several holes, and to attract them I use special technique. I use just this fruit of chestnut to close the entrance. So I try to stop them for a few seconds to recognize who is them and to keep them inside the screen. So maybe you can see sometimes small flies flying around, but these are not flies. These are these funny solitary bees. They are making aggregation. The colony which are not connected together. Aggregation, that means they are living together just in aggregation, but they are not exchanging with their brood, they are not helping each other. They have some differences in biology, different species. But this species is collecting, why she is leaf cutter bee, why she is collecting leaves? Because she is making the room under the hole. She's making special cells or holes, capsules under the ground. And she's covering all the holes lining with pieces of leaves. And it's quite interesting because why? Why she's making such covering of holes or capsules with leaves? Because she's collecting later pollen and a little bit nectar and laying eggs for her larva. And then she's making capsule covered with pieces of leaves to prevent desiccation of food stock, because she's collecting food for her progeny. The larva should be underground for a few days. She's growing very fast, but still it is summer, it is later spring, so very hot, heat is so high, so that's why food can be hardening very quickly to prevent desiccation, we suppose. So she's collecting pieces of leaves and gathering underground nest with pieces of leaves, circle, which are very interesting, like circles or oval pieces of leaves. And you can recognize this bee is relatively big, the same size as a honeybee, by the way. If you are not attentive, if you are just not entomologist, you will not recognize that this is not a honeybee. You can say, this is a honeybee. I say, no, this is not a honeybee because of hairs on thorax, white and very hairy. And you can see, I show you them later on under my microscope, that abdomen on the down part, little bit reddish and yellowish. When she's collecting pollen is collected not on baskets on hind legs of body like honeybees. Pollen is collected on the down part of the abdomen, and this is very important. This is a difference. This is a special recognition for Megachilidae or leafcutter bees, collecting on the down part of abdomen. It's very special for Megachila bee and Osmia bees as well. But Osmia bees, they are sometimes partially cultivated in the gardens by some amateurs and entomologists for pollination of orchards and for a little bit for business. Sometimes the same traps which are making entomologists and amateurs and businessmen, they're attracting also Megachila bees, because there are about 100 species of Megachila bees, so they have a little bit different behavior. Some of them prefer hollows in a rotten wood. They prefer like hollow stems, like hollow reed stems. But some of them, they are living precisely only underground in underground nests. They will not make nests in hollow stems. For example, this species, I don't know the species. It needs to show it precisely for apidologists, for specialists who is studying bees, and we have such specialists in Ukraine, so I will identify later the species. I can suggest that this is maybe Megachila rotundata, but I'm not quite sure. Megachila rotundata is very common species, which is living together in the same hollows like Osmia bees. So that's probably not Megachila rotundata, different. But I show you a little bit later a big macro video of them under the microscope or just in my laboratory, because it's a little bit bigger magnification, so I know that this bee can be shown just the whole as a big on a whole screen. So these bees living without attention of human beings, so they're flying a little bit around. They will make their progeny, which will be living here for whole year, and this progeny, larva and then larva will pupate, and prepupa will hibernate under the ground. So if soil will not be cultivated, these larvae, these pupae inside cocoons will survive for next year. So new adults, new bees will emerge, will hatch only on the next year, next spring. And I found here near Institute of Botany, near my Institute of Zoology, the colony of Coletidae bees, or plasterer bees. They are different. So I expected that these are plasterer bees. But when I was sitting here for observation a few minutes, I recognized that these are not plasterer bees. These are leafcutter bees, which are making the nest and cover the holes in the nest with pieces of leaves. And if you can see some circles on your leaves in your garden, So you can say probably this is a work of leaf cutter bees, because they're cutting small pieces of leaves on some plants like wild rosa, so, and bringing them to the nest. But they are very important pollinators, and they are not stinging, so do not destroy their colony, because this is very important colony. They're stinging little bit, very much, but they are very careful. They do not attack. They never attack. They try to escape. Even if I can take the bee in my hands, she will not sting. Don't worry about them. So do not destroy colony. Do not collect bees, and I will throw this away. I will release it later, because I showed it for you, not for curiosity, but to show that this is a bee which is very similar to honeybee, but this is different bee. And this is wild solitary bee, Megachila, of a family leaf-cutting bees. So enjoy yourself, be careful, be attentive, and I show you a little bit behavior of leaf-cutter bees, because I just recorded their activity on my another camera. So look later for continuation of this video, and we will see some behavior how these bees bring in the small pieces of leaves to their nest. And it's very funny, very interesting. So you can receive a great pleasure observing these bees near your garden, in your orchard, and try to protect them. Thank you for your attention. Press like, write your comments, ask your questions, and visit my Patreon page. And don't forget, Ukraine will win, Ukraine forever. Good luck and see you soon. Despite any troubles, Ukraine is forever. Good luck. The last but not the least, if you love animals, if you love insects, if you like nature, as I like, subscribe to my channel, write your comments, ask your questions, and if you need advice, ask me for advice. And don't forget, welcome to my channel, watch my new videos as well. Good luck, see you soon on my channel. Bye bye.